नमामि शंकराचार्य गुरुपाद सरोरुहं यस्य प्रसादान् मूढोऽपि सर्वज्ञोऽहं सदा भवं कामाक्षी करुणारूपं कामकोटि जगद्गुरुं चिन्मूर्तिं कलये चित्ते शंकराचार्यमव्ययम् भक्ताग्रगिरिसम्भूता शंकरार्णवगामिनी पुनातु भवनं पुण्या श्रीगुरो शरितापगा वेद वेदांत साम्राज्य धर्म कामार्थ मोक्षदं विद्यारण्यं मम पुण्यं यो विद्यारण्यमत्सिनत् सदाशिव श्री ब्रह्मेन्द्र धृत स्वपद पादुकां धीरान् परशुवेन्द्रार्यान् ध्यायामि सततं हृदि देवे देहे च देशे च भक्त्यारोग्य सुखप्रदं बुध पामर सेव्यन्तं श्री जयेन्द्रं नमाम्यहम् नमामि शंकरान्वाख्य विजयेन्द्र सरस्वतीं श्रीगुरुं शिष्टमार्गानुनेतारं सन्मतिप्रदं सत्यनारायण क्षेत्रात् सत्यव्रतम् उपागतम् आश्रये कामकोटीशं सत्यश्री चंद्रशेखरम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Last year, from the auspicious occasion on which our Shri Kanchi Kamakoti Mulamnaya Sarvagya Peethadipati Jagat Guru Shri Shankara Vijayam Saraswati Shankaracharya Swamigal himself performed with his own hands Abhisheka to Ramanatha Swami and thereby completed his Tirtha Yatra. From that auspicious occasion, the prarthana of doing anusandhana of the original Shankara Vijaya text, we have started this prayatna and currently we are examining this Anandagiriya Shankara Vijaya, which was composed by one Anandagiri, direct disciple of Bhagavatpāda, and in which he describes the discussions that Bhagavatpāda had with the followers of various matas. And in this 24th session today, we will be examining starting from the 30th prakarana of this text. A few prakaranas before, it was described how Bhagavatpāda went to Ujjaini and there he met with Kapalikas and other matas like Charvaka and Saugata, Bauddha, Jaina, and even one unusual mata by name Mallari. From Ujjaini, he traveled northwest, and we know that Ujjaini is in the western part of Madhya Pradesh, and northwest from there seems to indicate some place in eastern Gujarat or southern Rajasthan, or again western, further northwest of Madhya Pradesh. So some place there by name Anumalla, there he met with the Upasakas of Mallari. And from there, this text further describes Tasmat Purat Paschima Margagami. So from there, Bhagavatpāda further traveled westwards. So it seems that Bhagavatpāda is traveling towards what is currently the desert, and that Marubhumi, that is also seems to be indicated by the name of the place where Acharya went. Marundha Samgyam Puramapa Shishyehi. Along with his Shishyas, Dhakkadi Vadyanu Chalat Karaugaihi, Vichitra Bandhyadi Bahu Pravadyehi. Another Pathaveda is Vichitra Bandhadi Bahu Prapadyehi. So he is surrounded by his various Shishyas who carry the various Badhyas like Dhakka, and a lot of people are there to sing the praises, solely to sing the praises of Bhagavatpāda, and using lots of instruments, or in the other partha, in verses of various forms, Bhagavatpāda's qualities are being sung. With such a Shishya Parivara, Bhagavatpāda comes to this place called Maruntha. And there, Tatra Puryam, Vichitra Vishwaksena Gopura Purva Bhage, Vipulatarayam Prapashalayam Antargrihadi Kalpayitva, Tatra Devagrihe Srimad Acharyaha, Samyak Darbhasana Gata Sanne. So, the discussion of Acharya with the Vishwaksena Mata proponents is going to be described here. And Vishwaksena, as it will be further shortly explained, he is the Vaikuntha Senadhipati. So, commonly it is perceived that Vishwaksena is the Vaishnava equivalent of Ganapati, but some Vaishnavas say that he is different, Ganapati is different. But even in Vishnu Alayas, we see the form of Ganapati also. And here it is described that he is the Senadhipati of Mahavishnu at Vaikuntha. And there was a temple of that Vishaksena there. And towards the east of that temple, there is a great Prapashala. Prapa means a place where people can uh, obtain drinking water, a great pond, one may say, and a building nearby that. And there Acharya stayed there, and he, on his Darbhasana, he sat, and Sanne Manonmanyakyam Angushthamatra Lakshanam Purnam Mandalakaram Paramatmaram Ikshya, might be Samikshya. And Bhagavatpāda meditated upon the Paramatma, who is called Manonmani, as Manonmanaya Namaha, we also say. And he is of the size of a thumb in the heart. And Purnam Mandalakaram, he is of the form of the entire Prapancha Mandala. And that Paramatma Bhagavatpada meditated upon Tan Nishanda Piyosha Bindu Sandoha Pana Tripta Sarvangaha. By meditating on that Bhagavan, the Piyusha, the Amrita, Bindu Sandoha, the continuous dhara of the drops of Amrita, which are coming out of that meditation, Pana Tripta Sarvanga, by consuming those nectars, those drops of nectar, Bhagavatpada's the entire body is pulakita, and it is full. It has attained fullness. Kundalini punar mooladharam nitva. Normally, it is described that the Kundalini has to be taken to the Sahasrara for one to attain moksha. But here it is specifically described that Bhagavatpada took back his Kundalini to the Mooladhara chakra because the Adhipati of Mooladhara is Ganapati. And so this also indicates strengthens the connection between Ganapati and Vishwaksena. Tatadhisham Ganapatim Stutva Sukham Chiramasa. So he praised that Ganapati, and for a long time he was there in that Sukha. Tatra Vishwaksena Parayanaha Shankha Chakra Chinha Virajat Bhuja Danda Totra Panayaha Sri Guru Swaminam Natva Idamochahu. So the Upasakas of Vishwaksena, they were wearing as per the Vaishnava Sampradaya. Even earlier, we saw how the proponents of various matas would wear the symbols of the devatas, related to the devatas on their body, and wear objects which are related to the devatas in their hands. So, like these people wore the Shankha Chakra symbol on their shoulders, and they had the danta and the totra, which can be considered to be the ankusha, which is used for controlling the elephant. So again, connection with Ganapati. Sri Guru Swaminam Natva Idamuchuhu. They came and did prostrated to Acharya, and they spoke. Swamin Madiyapatam Atyanta Punyadam Vishwaksenadhi Devatam Satukila Vaikuntha Sayanadhivatihi Bhagavataha Dutiyavatara Sakaloka Niyanta Vrtati. Please listen to my mata, which is having Vishwaksena as its presiding deity, and Vishwaksena is the Senadhipati of Vaikuntha. He is like the Dvitiya Avatara, another form of Bhagavan Mahavishnu, and he is the controller of the worlds, and we are always Tasya Bhaktava Yamanisham, we are always his devotees. Tasmakam Yamadivirapi Bhitirasti Dehapata. So we don't even fear from Yama or such people or such devatas, even at the time of our body falling. Tad Bhattachodita Margena Vaikunthayo Praptavyaha, because he is Vishwaksena is the Adhipati of the Vaikuntha Sena. So all his bhattas, they are people from Vaikuntha, and they will take us to Vaikuntha when our body falls. So we do not fear. Tadupasanena Vaikuntha Loka Praptirati Vayam Tamupasmahe. By doing Upasana of Vishwaksena, we will attain Vaikuntha. So that is why we do Upasana of him. And Bhavadbhirapi Tadupasana Vitheya. So you also do that Upasana. Iti prapte lokagurubhirirmuktam bhavanmatam ayuktam. So when after they say that, Acharya says, Mapa, this is not acceptable, this is not correct. Katham Bhagavad Bhakta Vaikunthe Bhavo Vartante Bhagavad Archa Paraha. So four kinds of mukti are mentioned in the Shastras. Salokya, attaining the loka of the Ishta Devata, and Samipya. So even in that particular loka, you go and stay along with that devata. Be near rather than having to see the devata from a distance. You be near that Devata, and Sarupya. Not to, the next stage is you also attain a form that is similar to that Devata, and Sayujya is seems to be merging with that Devata. So here there are so many such people who have done upasana of Bhagavan and attain Vaikuntha, no doubt about it. See the worship of such Mahatmas. Definitely that worship will give Chitta Shuddhi, and those Mahatmas are considered to recommend to Bhagavan that this Shishya may also be considered for Anugraha. There is no problem with that also. But it is not correct to say that those Mahatmas are themselves Bhagavan. See, considering them as Bhagavan, considering Guru as Bhagavan is fine from a bhakti point of view. But from a Shastra point of view, when you say this Vishaksena, if he is also a Jiva, he is lesser than Sriman Narayana. He is not Sriman Narayana himself. So, because of the upasana of a great soul, a Mahatma, it also has to have some fruit. There is no doubt about that. But it is not correct to say that directly because of that one can attain moksha. Tad Ishasya Narayanasya upasanantu talloke apsubhiv kartavyam. See, after all, Narayana is the adhipati of that loka, not Vishaksena. Vishaksena might be the Senadhipati. He is not the Lokadhipati. So somebody wants to attain entry into Narayana Loka, Vaikuntha, then they have to do upasana of Narayana only. And Tasya Sagunatvat Paramparaya Muktida iti Prasiddhehe. So Narayana is the form, Saguna form of Paramatma. Shiva is also the Saguna form of Paramatma. And by doing upasana of Narayana, and you can attain his loka. And if you want to attain moksha, you can also indirectly, after getting the anugraha of Narayana, by realizing that you are that Paramatma Swarupa, then you can attain moksha. Tameva akhanda rupena sarvajivaikya bhavana visheshena dhyayatah asya sakshan muktirihaiva. So if you meditate on Narayana of the akhanda form, in his Moola Paramatma form, which is present everywhere, Sarva Jiva Aikya, which is permeating, which is non-different, which cannot be, it is inseparable from all the Jivas. And if you meditate that way, then you will immediately attain the Jnana and Moksha here itself. Yuyam Muktikankshanaschet Shuddham Advitiyam Sarvavyapinamatmanam Sarvagunatitam Shri Gurupadeshat Lakshadvara Dhyatva Mukta Bhavata. So if you want to attain moksha, you should realize that that Paramatma is the single tattva which is present everywhere, and you should meditate on that tattva. It is beyond all the gunas, and through the upadesha of the Guru. See, when you want to do meditation, it has to be, Acharya says in the Taittiriya Bhashya, Shastroktalambara Vishaya. So even though everything is Paramatma, even we are Paramatma only, but what form is fit for upasana, that has to be learned from Shastras. So Shastra indicates that Sriman Narayana is the Saguna Rupa of Paramatma and is fit to be worshipped to attain moksha. Shastra indicates that Shiva is such a form. Shastra indicates that Ambika is such a form. But the Shastra does not indicate that Vishwaksena is such a form. So we cannot ourselves assume these things. We have to follow what Shastra says. Iti upadishtaha Paramaguru Charanaravindha Dvandam Uttamanger Suddhadvaita Vidyam Tadupadesena Prapya Panchapujaparaha Tikta Panchapujaparaha Smarta Shrauta Sakala Karma Shilaha Bapuhu. So with the Upadesha of Bhagavatpāda, they realized their mistake, and this is the beauty. Everywhere Bhagavatpāda, in the earlier matas of Shiva Mata, Vishnu Mata, and so on, because those are the Shastropadishta Rupas, but there were some aspects which are against the Veda Shastras. So those aspects Bhagavatpāda corrected, but he re-established that core Mata. But here, if you call Vishwaksena as the Parama Devata, and the next it is going to be Manmatha, then it is going to be Kubera, and so on, there is no pramana that these are the direct forms of Paramatma. So it is not possible to assume these things, and we cannot say that these are. So Bhagavatpāda, in these cases, Bhagavatpāda is forced to do Nirakarana of the core Mata itself. But even then, Bhagavatpāda does it in such a gentle manner that that hitopadesha, that karunapurvaka upadesha, which Acharya gives, is such that they also realize it and take it up. It is not they. In fact, we should say that they also done some punya. Otherwise, if one does not do punya, one will not accept the sadupadesha. One will say, "Oh, you are a fool," and go and continue to have their own olden beliefs. But they had that punya, so they accepted what Bhagavatpada told them, and they were doing puja, the pancha, Aditya Ambikam, Vishnum Gadanatham, Maheshwaram, the Panchayatana puja, as far as the Upasana is concerned, and Shrota Smarta Karmanuktanas. So thus ends the 30th Prakarana, and next is the 31st Prakarana, in which the followers of Manmatha Mata, they come and discuss with Bhagavatpada. तत्रस्था एव अन्ये विष्णुसुता इति प्रसिद्धाः मन्मथ उपासना निरताः क्रौञ्चवित् कामवित् विद्याविदित्यादयः. So some people who are doing upasana of Manmatha, and because Manmatha is the son of Vishnu, they call themselves also Vishnu Sutas by name Krauncha Kama with and Vidya with and so on. Pushpa Dhanur Lakshma Shobhita Bahu Yuvala. So since we very well know that Manmatha carries a bow of sugarcane and arrows of flowers, so they wear those symbols on their shoulders. And such people, they came to Bhagavatpada Paramagurum Natva Idamuchu Swamin Asmanmatam Srunu Sarva Janamanoranjana Hetu Bhutaha Bamamatesha Manmatha. Please listen to our mata. Manmatesha. Manmata. He is the Isha of my mata. He is Manmatha. Because he is the Sarva Jana Manoranjana Hetu Bhuta. He is the one who is capable of making everybody's mind happy. Sarva Prani Hridantarvarti Paramatma Sayeva Utpatti Karanam Hare Rama. So, because he is there, Manmatha, Kama is there in the heart of every living being. So, he is Paramatma. So, because he has taken up the Lakshana of Paramatma, saying that Paramatma is present in the heart of every living being, he believes that Manmatha is present in everybody's heart. So, he says that Manmatha is Paramatma. Nice logic this is. So, yasya utpatteri sattvam taseva sthiti samharayorapiti jagadupadana karanatve siddhe sarvair mamukshudis sayeva ekeva upasaniya. So, it is very well known that Manmatha is the one who created the world. So, the Veda mantras we can quote Kamastadagre Samavartata. So, the Kama was the one which was there. Even the Shrutis which speak of how Bhagavan created the world, they say Swaha Akamayata. So the Kama is the source. It is the one, that is the factor that creates the world, he says. So when Kama creates the world, whatever, because in the Vedanta Siddhanta we do say that from whatever the Prapancha came, only in that it has to subsist and only in that it will attain Laya. So based on this, he says that Manmatha, Kama is Paramatma, because from him only the world is created. So in him only the world has to subsist and it has to attain Laya also at the end. Naranam Samuho Naram Haspindayanam Yasyasaha Narayanaha Manmatha. Now he further goes to say that the word Narayana itself applies to Manmatha only. How come? By saying that Naranam Samuho Naram. Nara means the Samudaya of Naras, of human beings, all human beings. Tasmin Ayanam. So he resides in all human beings. Kama does reside. So Narayana means Manmatha. तस्य सर्वप्रदातृत्वे समर्थता अस्ति इति तस्मात् धर्मार्थ काम मोक्ष प्रदातृत्वं तस्य सिद्धं. He is capable of giving everything. He is capable of giving dharma, artha, kama and moksha, not only kama. So then what is to be done? Tasya madana tejo vijrambhitam nityananda tarangam nama. So there is a form of Manmatha which came from the tejas of Manmatha. Nityananda tarangam, it has waves and waves of daily continuous waves of pleasure. Tadiya darashana sparshanabhyam, that form, he is talking about whatever is considered to be the highest, greatest pleasure of this world. And Tadiya darashana sparshanabhyam, by seeing that, by touching that form, Niravathika anandasya praptihi, limitless pleasure that we can attain. Akhandanandasya bhagavat-rupatena tatpraptireva mokshaha. Hare Rama. Again, so because Bhagavan is said to be of the form of Akhanda Ananda, limitless Ananda. So attaining that Ananda is the moksha. So Ato Mokshakankshanō Yujamapi Vasantotsavadishu Bhushanani Pushpadhanuschinhani Dhritva. So if you, oh Bhagavatpāda, I mean we call him Bhagavatpāda, oh Swamin, if you want to attain moksha, you also should wear these symbols of Pushpa, Dhanus, and so on, and all kinds of abharanas in the Vasantotsava. Vasantotsava is actually a legitimate Utsava, and it is done around Magha Shukla Panchami. The Vasanta Rutu Devata, along with who is the friend of Manmatha, Rati Devi Sameta Manmatha Puja has to be done. On top of that, Lakshmi Sameta Sriman Narayana Puja has to be done. Because Manmatha, his anugraha is definitely necessary. In this world, such pleasures, Bhagavan himself says, Dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharata rishabha. Bhagavan accepts those forms so long as they do not conflict with Dharma. So, all our indriyas, all our capabilities, bodily, physical capabilities, they should be full. For that, we do need anugraha of Manmatha and Rati Devi, there is no doubt about it. But he is not Paramatma himself. Sriman Narayana Mahalakshmi Sameta is above him. And but this is how this Upasaka describes it. So he says that you should bear the symbols of Manmatha on your body. And Janita Niravadhikananda Praptimanto Bhutva. So the Anugraha, the pleasures which Manmatha give, those limitless pleasures we should attain, and through that we can attain moksha, mukta, bhavata, iti prapte. They, of all people, they say this to Bhagavatpāda. But Bhagavatpāda is very, very calm and replies in a calm manner. If it were us, we would get angry. But Bhagavat Paramagurubhiri Damuchate, Bhok Krauncha Vidadeha, Bhavanuktam Asamanjasam, Katam Pramana Bhava. Oh, Krauncha under us, what you say is not acceptable. How come? Because there is no Brahmana. So such a calm and collected reply Bhagavatpāda gives. Tavan Manmathasra Srishtiyadhikara Katham Sambhavaniyaha. First of all, you tell me how come you call Manmatha is the Karta of Srishti? How is it possible? Brahmana eva Srishti Kartatva Darshanat. Everybody knows that Brahma is the Srishti Karta. Tathayu Sthiti Laya Kartatva Bhavaha. So again, that is why for the same reason you cannot claim that Manmatha is the one who does Samrakshana and Pralaya. Vishnu Shiva Utat Karta Raviti Prasiddha. It is very well known that Vishnu is the protector and Shiva is the one who does samhara. Manmathasya Narayana Putratvat Sthityaधिकारस्य हि वक्तुं शक्यते स्थित्यधिकारः तस्यापि वक्तुं शक्यते इति यद्युच्येत तदसमञ्जसम्. So okay, I cannot claim that there is no pramanam for saying that Manmatha does Srishti directly, but he is the son of Narayana. So because Narayana is the one who protects, so Manmatha is capable of protecting. Is if you say sorry, this logic does not carry weight. Because yes, it is possible that the son is like the father, but it's not absolutely necessary. It does not happen always. Putre Pitrashakti Abhava Darshanat. So for this Acharya shows example from Jyotish Shastra. Yatha Surya Putre Shanishchare Surya Prabhava Adi Darshanat. Shanishchara is the son of Surya. But definitely we very well know Surya is so bright and Shanishchara is the darkest of the Graha. The one with the least prakasha. So how can you say that always the father's qualities come to the son? It is not always true. So see, if there were any other pramana that Manmatha does all these things, he does Srishti Sthiti Samhara, then we may listen to it. But there is no such pramana. If you are just going to say that it might be possible, all these things don't hold water. It is without a proper argument. So nano Vasantotsav Kala Sampadita Shiro Vishesha Bhushana Dharanam Kartavyam Tan Lokatraya Vidyamanam Vashikaroti. So whatever you said that during the Vasantotsava we should wear all kinds of ornaments and special dresses and so on, and through that we can bring all sources of pleasure under our Vashya, under our control. That Kim Brahmanakam, what is the Brahmana for that? See, whatever worldly pleasures you are talking about, Tatsangiram Sangam Duratah Parivarjayet. People who are excessively indulging in such worldly pleasures, as mentioned earlier, pleasure within the framework of dharma That is something there that is called Grihastha. That is a different matter. But here you are talking about excessively indulging in such pleasures, and it is very clearly stated. It is the Nishedha Vakya, the prohibitive sentence is such that Tatsanginam Sangam Doratah Parivarjayet. So you should even avoid contact with people who are excessively indulging in such things. So how come you are advising me to directly indulge in such things? किंच मन्मथस्य मोहकारक शक्त्यभावात् तदुपदा उपासनं व्यर्थम. So it is a surprising move. Acharya says that Manmatha does not have the power of giving that moha which leads to these worldly pleasures. How come this is quite surprising? Because Manmatha is widely known to have such powers. Because Acharya wants to point out katham Rudrakopagnina bhasmibhutasya jagat sammohana vashikaranadya sambhavat. So Parmeshwara, through his kopa, to his third eye, he burnt away Manmatha. Then how come Manmatha can control the world, or he can do Vashikarana of the world, of all sources of pleasure and so on? How is it possible? तथापि तत्संभवोऽस्त्विति यदि उच्येत तर्हि आकाशस्यापि कार्यकरणसमर्थता प्रसक्तिः. If you claim that even Manmatha, after being incinerated by Bharaveshwara, he can do all these things, then you can say that from Akasha we can create something. So if you do Maya Jala and we produce something by shaking your hand like this, it doesn't really come from Akasha. Akasha is there as it is always, that's all. It is that Maya Shakti which is creating these things, but it is not Akasha which is creating these things. So likewise, once Parameshwara incinerated Manmatha, how is it possible that Manmatha is giving all these pleasures? So it just goes to show that whatever pleasures that Manmatha was able to give, that Shakti came to him by the leave of Paramatma, only by the blessing of Paramatma only. So when Paramatma is angry, he is able to take away those powers. Hmm? So these are not permanent powers of Manmatha, as you would have us believe. Uh, so, Tasmad Anangasya, a very special word intentionally used by Bhagavatpāda. So many names of Manmatha, but here and before this word has not come here. Anangasya, he who does not have a body, Manmatha. Prapanche Anavakashe Prapte, it would have been such that there was no place for Manmatha in this world, but Ratidevi Prarthanaya Parameshwara Vashat Kalpaniyam. So, but Manmatha's Patni Rati Devi prayed to Bhagameshwara, and through Karuna, Parameshwara resurrected Manmatha. But then, even then, Parameshwara said that let him be without a body and only visible to you. And without any body of his own, he is entering the body of everybody and he is giving them all kinds of, he is having all kinds of influence over them. That is the fact. But again, it is something that Parameshwara gave back to him. It is not his own again. Tadrishasya katham srishtyaadikartritvam shakyam sampadiyitam. So in such a case, how is it possible to say that he is the one who is doing srishti sthiti samhara and so on? Ataha pratyaksha virodhat bhavanmatam apramanam. So what you say is totally, obviously this is wrong. इत्युक्ताः क्रौञ्चविदादयः परमगुरुं नत्वा त्यक्तलिङ्गाः शुद्ध अद्वैतवृत्त्याश्रिताः पञ्चपूजापराः सत्कर्मशीलाः बभूवुः. So by this Upadesha of Bhagavatpāda, they did namaskara to him and they left all their earlier practices and accepted the Advaita Siddhanta and practically started doing Panchayatana Puja and Satkarma Anushthanas. Thus ends the 31st Prakarana of this Anandagiriya Shankara Vijayam. Next, in the 32nd Prakarana, we see the discussions of the Kubera Mata. Tasmad Udangmargam Ashritya Magathapuram Prapya Tatra Yakshalayanama Prasiddham Devasthanam Ashritya Pakshakala Matram Sarvajana Shishyajana Krita Pujangikara Chamatkara Dhurine Jagat Gurav Acharye. So from that place called Marundham, this might be somewhere near the desert, Acharya went towards north. So a place called Magathapuram, and it is not clear, but it is said that Yakshalaya, normally Yakshas live near the mountainous areas, so Acharya might have gone so far, but it is not so clear here. And he stayed there for a paksha, So this is a nice alliteration by Sri Anandagiri Yaksha Paksha. He stayed there for one fortnight and he was accepted. He was worshipped by all his shishyas and so on. And at that time, Samasine Tatrastha Brahmanaha Kuberobasakaha Navanidhana Roba Swarna Gutika Malika Parishobhita Galaha Kubera Svesha Parardhesha Pramukhaha Swaminam Natva Idamochu. So the people there, they are doing Upasana of Kubera, and they wear Swarnamalas, obviously, Kubera Upasana. Swarnamala, garlands made of Swarna Manis, Swarna Ghutika, Navanidhana Rupa, representing the Navanidhis. Such malas they wear in their neck, and by name Kubera, Svesha, Parardhesha, and so on. And they come to Bhagavatpāda, Swaminam Natva Idamuchuhu. They say, Swamin, Madiya Matam Ati Vichitratarangila. Yaswan Mama Swami Kubera. My Matam is so special because my Swami is Kubera. Tasya Navinadhane Shatvad. My Kubera he is the Lord of the nine Nidhis. Loka Tadjadirikta Purna Dhana Bhavad. There is nobody in this world who is fully endowed with wealth other than Kubera. Sarvam Arthavata Jitam Iti Vachanatcha. It is in the world it is said that he who is wealthy, he can win anything. Kubera Bhaktanam Asmakam Daridryavi Dosha Bhavat Purnanandatvam Siddham. So we Kubera Bhaktas, we will never suffer from Daridrya, from poverty. So we are always full of Ananda. Tasya Brahmarupattat Tadeva Moksha Praptihi. So as mentioned earlier, in the earlier Prakarana also, that Nityananda is Brahma Swarupa. So attaining this Purnananda is itself Moksha Prapti through wealth. Karma Siddherapyarthamolakatvat. Nahi tadvyarekena arthasiddhirapi vidyate. So even karmanusthana, it is done by money. We need money. We need to spend money. We have to buy lots of things to perform karmanusthana. We need to give sambhavana to the people whom we have to call. For all these things, we need money. Without money, how can you do karmanusthana? And nahi tadvyarekena, without the blessings of Kubera, how can you get money? Arthasiddhirapi vidyate ataha arthasya karma jnanamoolatvat. So money, wealth is the source of karma. So wealth is the source of jnana also. Tad adhipatehe kuberasya upasanam karmibhi mumukshubhishcha kartavyam. So those who want to do karmanusthana, those who want moksha, both of them should do upasana of Kubera, who is the adhipati of that wealth. Kincha, Dikpalanam Madhya Kuberasya Shresthatvam Vidyate. Kubera is the foremost of the Dikpalakas. What is the Pramanam? Not inquired here. Yavad Abhishtavartham Indradinam Brahmavishnu Rudranam to Sayava Dadati. Whatever is required by Indra and others, whatever is required by Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva and others, all those things are given by Kubera only. And in which case, when he is the one, the supplier for the Devatas themselves, then what to say of the other worlds? Martyaloka, Patalaloka, Sthanam, Viswadata Sayevo. So Swa, that is what is called Swat in regional languages, that wealth. He is the one who is capable of giving wealth to people of this world and the nether worlds. Also, even the capital of the Patalaloka is called Bhogavati. So, Tasya Tatswamitva, because he is the Lord of wealth. Tad Paricharaka Surasundari Rama Yakshin Vipasaka Ramapi Mahadeshwari Asya Sattva. So, when if anybody does Upasana, there is a Devata, a Yakshini called Surasundari, and she is one who serves Kubera. She is the Paricharika of Kubera. When one does upasana to a yakshini who is the paricharika, who is in the service of Kubera, even through that one can attain lots of wealth. Then what to say about directly doing upasana of Kubera? Kim riktopasanena shakyam muktum dharmartha kamaro kama moksharopa purushartha janaka rikthaswaminam vida. So again another interesting and surprising nice alliteration by Anantanandagiri Swami. Riktha means empty. Riktha means wealth, especially wealth that is divided in the form of inheritance. So, what is the use of worshipping devatas who are Rikta? for devoid of wealth. Because Kubera is the lord of Riktha, is the lord of wealth, because that wealth is what gives the dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Kechid mandamatayaha tadanya devata radhanam kurvanti. Some fools, pitiable people, they do upasana of other devatas. That aviveka karanam. Purva janma sanchita papa sangha kritam. So that is out of their aviveka, their, sorry to say, they do not realize their folly. It is because of the karma papas that they collected in the previous janmas. Kritavratanam hi dharam, akritavratanam kutaha iti vachana balat. See, in regional languages, there is a phrase saying kuduttu vaitadu. So something that you, it literally means in your previous janma, if you have given something as dana, you will receive in this janma, you will receive wealth. So that is presented here in a slightly different way. Only if one does proper anushtha vratas, one does upasana, and through that only one can attain dharam. One who has not done upasanas cannot attain dharam. It is said so. And who better to do upasana for attaining dharam than Kubera? Kuberopasanam muktikangshino bhavantopi kuruvanto. So, oh Bhagavatpāda, we call him Bhagavatpāda, they might have called some Swami. You also do Kuberopasana for attaining moksha. Iti prapte Srimad Acharya Ridamuchate Bhoho Kuberasesha Parardheshaha Yushmanmatama Samanjasam Pramana Bhava. So Acharya says upon their presenting thus, oh Kubera Swesha Parardhesha and others, your matam is unacceptable because there is no pramana for it. Like earlier. Kuberasya Arthaswamitve Siddhepi Nidhanadikatarthena Kastrapto Vidyate Loke. Yes, okay, fine. Kubera is the lord of wealth, but he is the lord of the Navanidhis, okay. But whoever, even though a person may be given the entire Navanidhis, who has attained Tripti in this world, who is satisfied? Daivad Arthavadah Purushasya Arthalobha Bahulyad Ragad Yarishadkasya Sthanatvad Dharma Leshopi Nastyeva. Bhagavatpāda declares. So it does happen due to some daiva, some higher reason, that Purushasya Artha Lobha Bahulya, a person who has, even though he has attained lots of wealth, he wants to attain more and more wealth. And due to this, what is generated? Raga, Adi, Arishaka, Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Moha, Madamansarya. All these things are generated, and how can you say that it is capable of giving dharma with all these things? Give dharma. Dhastyeva. Dhanadhadyasya mokshasya avakasha sutaram nastyeva iti siddhameva. Even when all these kama, krodha, lobha, etc. are present, is it possible for jnana to come? And moksha is attainable only through jnana? Sarvatha, it is not possible. It is very clear, it is established. Ataha arthasya anartharupattat pamukshana dravyam parityajamevo. So one who really wants to attain moksha, he should leave the excess desire towards wealth. Because artha, even though wealth is called artha, it is actually anartha. It gives lots of difficulties or meaningless troubles. Muktancha, so Acharya, it is possible that before this samvada happened, Acharya might have done that Mohamudgara Upadesha, Bharata Govindam, to that Brahmana. So because Acharya quotes himself, Artham Anartham Bhavaya Nityam Asti Tada Sukhalesha Satyam. So you should realize that Artha is in fact Anartha, and there is really no pleasure to be gotten from that Artha, because somebody who is excessively devoted to that Artha, he keeps thinking further, how can I earn more wealth? How can I earn more wealth? And through that excessive attachment, his mind will not be at peace. He will never attain happiness. And the son of somebody who is who has behaved that way, putradapi dharabhajam bhitihi. When the father, he is always spending his time considering wealth as the greatest thing, how will the child grow up? If the child also grows up thinking that the wealth is the greatest and wealth has to be procured by hook or crook, if that is what the father is doing, then what will the child do? You either, if you are not able to earn it, you can steal it. That kind of an attitude would be encouraged. Then what will happen? Then both the father's and the son's affection is towards wealth, not to each other. everybody starts showing affection towards wealth only. So then the father will start getting doubt whether the son wants to take his wealth away from him. So there is absolutely no preeti. If there is preeti, this bhiti will not be there. Putradapi dhanabhajam bhiti. Father will get afraid that my son, he himself will take my wealth away from me. So what is the meaning of the word father and son? No such relationship, no such emotional connection is there in such a case. Sarvatra isha vihita ritihi. This is what is seen in the world. Yes, there was a claim that using money one can do dharma, karmanushtanas. Yes, dharmopi tatsadhya iti chet bhavatanama. Okay, fine. Prakarma vashat kubera nidharartham vina dravyam prapyate. So if I have that prachira karma even without all this supplying from kubera nidhi, I can get money. Tadeva vivekinam dharma karanam nidhara vyatiriktasya dravyasya bhogarba nishthatva divishtatva. There is lots of wealth inside the bhumi. Why should I get supply from some kubera nidhi? So whoever is really intelligent, if they want to attain money for the purpose of doing dharma, they can get it from by doing parishrama from the earth. So Janani Prithvi Kama Dughaste Janako Deva Sakala Dayalu. So the Bhumi Mata, she is capable of giving all the wealth that we need. And the Parameshwara, he is the Pita. His Upasana, if we do for him, if we want to do some Dharmanushtana, Bhumata will give. So then why do we need to go and do Prarthana of Kubera? Janaha Khani Saikatadi Rupena Swarnam Bahudha Sampadayanti. There Kajat Jivanam Guruvanti, Kajat Bhushanani Dharayanti. People, they create mines, and some people sit in riverbeds and start filtering the sand. Such lots of ways are there to gain the gold. So with that gold, some people they live, they earn their lives through such a profession. And some people where that they procure that gold and wear it as ornaments. Kubera Dravyana Indra. So all this is obtainable from the earth itself. Kubera Dravyana Indradiyopipajivanti. So Acharya wants to do some putana on the head of that fellow who is making some excessive statements. So these are some strong statements by Acharya. Acharya is actually slightly getting angry. So if any Mahatmas are being derided, then definitely Mahatmas will get angry. So Kubera Dravyana Indradiyopipajivanti iti yaduktam tadasat. It is absolutely, it is totally meaningless to say that from the Kubera's wealth only Indra and others are living. Kanakamaya Meru Pradesha Vilasad Indradeyaha Swatantra Purushaha Sarva Sukhabhajaha Sarvonnaika Ishwarya Sampannaha. So would you know how Indra and others devatas are living? They are living in the Kanaka Meru, the golden mountain of Meru. And if at all they want some wealth, they can go to the backyard and they take a instrument for plowing the earth, and they can just cut out a section of earth from there. They will have gold dust, literal real gold dust, because they are living in the golden mountain. So why do they need? They are swatantra. They are totally free. Sarva sukhabhajaha. They have all sorts of sukha by themselves. They have the greatest aishwarya. Dina iva nirbhagya iva kim kuberam yachante. So what is there? Is there any meaning to say that as if they are suffering, as if they have no fortune, unfortunate suffering people? Are they going to go and do upasana to Kubera, Indras and others, Indra and others? Bhavad ajnana bhagyanam brahmanya bhavat kimuttaram vaktavyam. Your sentences uttered out of total ignorance. They're absolutely meaningless. What kind of reply am I supposed to give to this? Brahma Vishnu Rudranam Dravyadata Kubera Yuktam. What further words that you are uttering? You are saying that Kubera is the one who gave money to wealth to Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra. Bhavan Marga Kyana Parihartavya. Who is possible to correct this absolutely unacceptable path of yours? Hiranya Garbhasya Brahmana. Do you know what is the name of Brahma? He is called Hiranya Garbha. Lakshmipati Narayana is. Hiranya Retas Rudra is. And are you saying that these people are getting, they pray to Kubera and get money from Kubera, wealth from Kubera? Tava apavadopadesha kimanyai karyaha. This kind of what You are totally deriding these devatas. Are you saying that we have to do this upadesha to others also? What is the meaning of this? एवं समर्थतरेण भवता कुबेरेण मर्त्यलोकस्थेषु निरर्थ अपवाद परंपरा सदैव कृता भवति. Are you thinking that you are going to extol the qualities of Kubera and give Kubera, establish him in such a great position in the world? Your samarthyam is such that you are going to give a total bad name to Kubera in this world. Everybody will say, oh, this Kubera is so, he has lots of garva through his shishyas. He is doing prachara that he is the greatest, even greater than Shiva, greater than Vishnu, and so on. Everybody will get angry at Kubera only. So, bhavata kim andritam na uchcharitam, what kind of falsehood have you not uttered? So, from my statement, ataha madvakyat Kubera shishya saha advaita vidyamashritya snadani nityakarma saktaha panchapuja parayanaha bhavata. So, follow Advaita Vidya and do Snana and other Nityakarma Anushtanas and do Panchapuja regularly. Ityuktaha Veradayaha Tekta Navanidhana Chinhaha Paramaguru Padambuja Saktaha Shuddha Advaita Vidya Shrita Bapuho. So, you also do these Karmanushtanas and do Panchayatra Puja as was advised earlier also. And hearing this advice, these Kubera Upasakas also felt that Bhagavatpāda was right. So they discarded all those symbols of Navanidhi and so on, and they developed devotion towards the lotus feet of Bhagavatpāda and accepted the Advaita Vidya. Ityananta Anandagiri Gratau Prakaranam Dvatrimsham. So thus ends the 32nd Prakarana of this Grantha, and with the Anugraha of the Guru. In future sessions also, we will continue this. Sarvavyapaka Chaitanya Rupena Hadyapi Tishtati Seva Shankaracharyo Gurur Mukti Padasatam. Hara Hara Shankara, Jaya Jaya Shankara.